Hey Jack Squad, how everybody doing? What's going on this marvelous Monday? I'm off today, so I got plenty of energy, right? Plenty of energy. Ooh, love it. Anyway, make sure you like. It's very important. Make sure you subscribe and share and comment, right? Also, all of my social media stuff is down in the description box, as well as my email and my Cash App. Hey, y'all, listen. I'm going to talk about Real Housewives, do my review on Real Housewives of Potomac. I didn't do it last week, but I'm going to do last week and this week all together, right? First of all, what I want to say before I even get started on what actually happened is I think that sometimes reality shows can be a dangerous platform, or marriages can be put in a dangerous position on a reality show. Because the fact that I think the ladies have gotten together, not all, just Ashley, Robin, and Giselle, the Mean Girls. You know, Ashley can be a part of the Mean Girls when she wants to, but because she's an original on that show, like Karen doesn't get in the mess, but Ashley swings the way she wants to swing, right? And now she's swinging with the Mean Girls, okay? See, this is what I think. Whenever you had a big blowout beef, because I kept looking at it like, oh, Candiace and Ashley are getting along. They must have made friends over the break when they weren't filming. When you hurt somebody, they never forget that. They bring that right back unless it's been resolved, right? So anyway, we'll get into that later. Last week, Wendy and her family had an outside outing. And she's telling her husband about that she met with Peter and she wants to do a lounge. And she tells him her portion is $300,000. And the split is not 50-50, right? The husband said it would cost him more than her. And he says she has enough on her plate. And that the candle business is not doing that good. Now, this is what I think. I don't think Wendy knows Peter good enough to go into business with him. I don't know if she's checked his record and see how he do. He's successful for himself, but I don't know when he put other people in it, are they successful? That's what I'm saying, right? And I think that Wendy is so, even though she's wonderful in her own right, she's a CNN political commentator, right? That's a marvelous feat. But I think for some reason, Wendy wants to be part of the cool girls, or what she thinks is the cool gang, right? So, because she's doing things that people that don't have any means do, like you want to start a little candle line. You know, that's, to me, that was below her, right? Because she's got so much going on. If you want, I understand you want to start a business with candles. I don't know if that's a good seller, right? Hair would have been better than candles, right? But whatever. And I think that Wendy just wants to do something. She says her plate is full. She's a professor. She's a political commentator. She's got a couple businesses, and she's doing something else. I forgot what the something else is. And you're a mother and a wife. That's a big job by itself, right? So I don't know if she should invest in that venture, right? So Robin is having the family fun day. Why not invite a family, right? She's having family fun day, and she specifically did not invite Wendy. Now, if it was me, if I was Wendy, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care not one bit. So what, you didn't get invited? I know plenty of marvelous folks in D.C. that I could do things with, right? I wouldn't care. And Wendy has a loving husband. You know what it's just come to me what I think with these ladies. They're jealous. Even though they're beautiful women, they're jealous of the ladies who have wonderful husbands. What is his name? Juan, I don't believe, he may be wonderful, but he doesn't show it. We don't see it, right? He looks very bland, very regular, very neutral, right? We don't ever see any loving acts from Juan. He never participates when it's couple participation. Robin's always by herself, right? Most of the time, and she has a husband. And you know, we know Giselle don't have nobody. And Ashley's husband been cheating, messing with boys, girls, and everybody. Right now they're getting a divorce. And I just think that, because they did the same thing to Monique, and Monique told Candiace, they're going to turn on you next. You're next. And she is, right? And see, we just see what we see on TV, but if you think about it and just think about human nature and how people act, it's some stuff going on behind the scenes that we do not see, that we should see, but we can't see because, you know, they can only film so much. They only let us see so much, right? And this is the reason why people do the things that they do. It's things that we don't see, right? And so Wendy and Robin get into it about Mia having cancer. Why? I don't know. So now Robin tells Candiace, which I thought was so stupid and asinine. She told Candiace, because Candiace said, well, you're not going to invite Wendy? She told her, you can invite the kids. Like, why wouldn't you call and say, hey, me and you not getting along, but I would love for your kids to come. I would have been able to better receive it, and probably Wendy would have too, even though I wouldn't have sent my kids, but I would have appreciated the gesture, right? And I don't know why Robin thought that Wendy was so desperate to be involved with what she had going on that she would send her kids and she not come. Why would I send my kids over to the enemy camp? Why would I send my kids with the ops? Who does that, right? And anyway, Candiace said she was going to do it. It didn't make sense to her, but she was going to do it. And it was a little uncool, right? So then Robin talks about the DM that Ashley got from Chris. What I think Chris was doing was innocent. And I think he thought that because I just can't imagine Chris has a wife and he wanted to reach out to all his wives' friends that she's on the show with. This is her money. Let's say they're not friends because they don't look like they are, but they're my co-workers. Why would my husband go flirt with my co-workers? This is our bag. Why would you do that? Why would you ruin that? I would like to think that he had more sense than that, right? So anyway, Ashley tell the ladies that Michael had a vasectomy. And he's doing it because he thinks Ashley wants to get pregnant by him. She got the 2. She's confirmed her bag. She got 2. That's enough. Because what I notice now about Ashley, it always happens with women when they leave a relationship, get divorced, whatever's going on. She looks better. Not that she was looking bad before, she was a pretty girl, but her style has changed. Her style has changed, which is so important when you're going through changes. And sometimes women do it subconsciously, not knowing that they're doing that. Your style changes. You're more freer and open to do what you want to do and be who you want to be, right? Because she was looking very nice in her confessionals. The hairstyle changed. Because Ashley just looks like a loser. She doesn't fancy up too much. She's looking very gorgeous now, right? Anyway, Ashley says Michael wants to have, the reason why he did that, he don't want to have another baby by her, so that means they're still having sex, but he wants to have unlimited sex with whoever he wants to have it with. Now, Michael's still living in the home, but he doesn't want it to be out because of their business ventures. That, at least that's what he's telling her, that they're getting a divorce or they're getting separated, right? Which came out anyway. And a thought just came in my head because Ashley said nobody knew but the little circle on the show, her castmates, and Michael, right? I wouldn't doubt if it was Giselle. Just saying. Giselle is super messy, so she got to keep it up because she don't really have nothing going on. She doesn't have anything going on in her life. Nothing. Not that she wants to show anyway, right? So they Ashley says they have a statement prepared already in case he's seen with another woman since they are separated. Michael's going to do his thing. He's not giving a grace period, a cooling off period, a mourning period, none of that. He's going right out there. Actually, in my opinion, he's going to keep doing what he's always been doing. Because why would you put your wife in a condo, apartment, whatever they in, up in a building, and you got 2 little babies that need to run free and play, right? And she said that would hurt their chances of getting a house, which I don't believe, and that don't make sense. So then, production can do some mean stuff. Production showed montage or footage of Michael's past indiscretions, right? And you know, they were telling Ashley, her friends have been telling her that the trolls are going to troll. The memes are going to be, it's going to be a media storm, right? Which is what they was trying to avoid. So Robin has her family fun day. And of course, Juan wasn't there. I think she said Juan didn't feel good. Did she say? It was something that, what's the reason she gave was so not a good reason. Either she said he didn't feel good or he was tired. I can't remember. I don't want to tell a story. But I just thought, your wife spent all this time, or he had to do something the next day, something that your husband's supposed to be supportive of you. Even though I believe Robin has been supportive of Juan, they've been together, which I didn't know till yesterday. They've been together since high school, right? So they've been together a very long time. I think Juan is still mad that she lost their money. She's still mad that they lost their money, even though she's worked very hard to recover it and put them back in a better situation. I just think he's still resentful of her. I do, because that's how he acts to me. He love her. He want to keep his family together for the boys. But I think he resents her. I just think he resents her. That's what I think, because he never participates, hardly ever. Hardly ever. Now, you'll see him when they film in their home, but like outings and stuff, very rarely. Very rarely. So he wasn't there, which I thought, like, I wouldn't even want to have it. This is family fun day. You're supposed to be here with our boys, right? But I think that, let's see. So while I was watching this, I said, Giselle seems to always have a target. Now, that's good for her because she doesn't have anything going on in her life, so she needs to stir up mess to be relevant. She needs to stir up mess to be relevant, and I think Andy really likes her, too. So she's stirring up mess to be relevant, and so she picks a target and works it. Now, you got to remember, Giselle is 50, so at 50, you become very clever. You become very clever in how you move, right? So, Robin, so this is the conclusion I come up with. Robin is still mad from last season when Wendy checked her and Giselle real good, real matter-of-factly, real direct to the point. I think Robin's still mad and they never got over it, and I think that they've had multiple conversations about it, and Giselle has put a battery in Robin's back. That's what I think. Because I think Giselle is tired of saying she's the mean girl, so she's going to let Robin do the dirty work. She's putting the battery in her back, like I said, right? Mia says her mom and her is good, but Mia realizes that drugs stop maturity. So she didn't understand that wherever you start at, and this is what happens with ladies that don't grow up in the hood or, in urban settings. There's a lot of things you don't know about life and about how people act and how they react, right? When someone has been on drugs, whatever age they started with the drugs, that's where they at when they come out of the drugs, if they ever come out. So if they started at 25, even though they're 55, that's where their maturity level is going to be. I've seen it a million times, right? That is something I figured out for myself years and years ago, right? Same thing happens if someone goes to prison. The maturity level stays the same, right? And so she understands now that her mom is suffering from a disease of addiction. And so she's learning how to deal with her better, that her mother is suffering, right? So Robin's house, when they got there, now I think the family fun day was at her home, I believe, right? If it was at her house, she's on a good piece of land, right? And, they had to travel to go back up in there. Now, I see a lot of stars, a lot of people with money and means. They like to live off the beaten path. Me, personally, when I get a lot of money, I don't want to live through the woods. Even though the street may be main, but I don't want to live through the woods. It's too dark, right? I don't like dark. I don't like dark. Only time I like dark, when I get to liking dark, I'm depressed, right? That hasn't happened in years. I don't like the darkness, right? I get you want to be solitude, you want to be away from it all, but I don't want to be that far back. Like where I'm staying now, let me tell y'all something. I live in Decatur. The next city over is Lithonia, right? Lithonia has those people, there's areas in Lithonia, those people have money. There's mansions everywhere, streets and streets and streets, right? You know, and they're streets, they're close together, right? I could live like that. I don't want to live through the woods. I don't want to live through the woods. And I know you got to be protecting of yourself, you know, and all that, but I don't want to have to travel back up in there to get to me, because when you got it, what if you got the emergency and you got to get out of there, right? Y'all know I'm from the hood. I can't. Anyway, Robin has done well. Their house looks nice, right? Juan, that's what she said. Juan had a root canal. He had a root canal, so maybe his teeth were hurting. But why would you plan the root canal on the day of the family fun day? He had it that day. See, Juan, let me tell y'all something. You know, people's actions, you can say whatever you want to say. I don't really listen to I do listen to what people say, but that don't really do me. It's how they move. It's how they act. I watch how you act. Right? And I wrote this in my notes. He gives subliminal messages. He is not all the way in this relationship. That's what I say. He's there for his kids. He wants to have a happy family for his boys. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I just seen it happen in real life. Somebody I know. They've been together a long time. And woman came home and he was gone. You have to know when you're in a relationship with somebody if it's not 100. I don't want to be in a relationship that's not 100%. Now, I have done it before, like I told y'all, and that was for selfish financial reasons, right? I've learned from that. I have learned from that. I don't want to be in a relationship and it's not total love, 100% love. Don't want it. On either part, I don't want it. Wendy said to, somebody asked her about the kids and going, she said, why would she want to send her kids to somebody's house? Which I just said, that's weird. And Karen thought so too. Like, why would you invite them? Like, you want to seem like you cool, but you're really not, Robin. So Sharice comes and Karen instantly starts coughing. Karen good. She instantly starts coughing. She's sick. She don't want to be there. Now, it's later discussed that, and I remember this, Sharice is the one that brought up that Karen was seeing somebody else out of town, blue eyes, she called him, so I'm thinking it was a white man. I don't know. Again, that's been years, and Sharice has been out the show. Karen don't want no dealings with her, period, right? And I wouldn't either. You didn't mess up my marriage to Ray. I've been with Ray since I was 10 years old. You ain't messing this up. So, she leaves. She has somebody walking to, I think Mia's husband walked into the car. Somebody walked into the car, which with the way these ladies talk and plot, I wouldn't have asked someone else's husband to walk me to my car, right? So then Ashley, she can't find Michael, and he has his phone cut off, and she's looking for Michael, right? Now listen, I wouldn't look for him. See what? I wouldn't look for him. I'm just put it right there like that, right? Ashley came late. I guess that's why, because she was looking for Michael. Candiace came late, but she didn't speak to Giselle. And she didn't want to give her any attention, right? Now, only husband was there was Mia's. Well, Ashley's getting a divorce. Of course, Chris is not going to come. Y'all just put allegations out on him, right? So Ashley said she didn't get her house. She's being outbidded when she tries to look for a house. Yeah, she's being outbidded, right? Now, Michael keeps asking for threesomes. She admitted that the reason why they're divorcing is that's not who she was when she first got with Michael. Let me tell y'all something. I said it before. What you do to get him is what you have to do to keep him. Period. That's why they picked you. That's why they chose you. I don't know why these women get married and think, okay, I'm married to him, I don't have to do this no more. Because if that's what he like, he's going to keep doing it. He's going to keep doing it whether you participate or not. Therefore, the problem comes, right? She said that's why they are getting divorced, because she doesn't want to be that girl anymore. And, I never understood how women, and I know women are doing this a lot lately, and they've probably always been doing it, people just talking about it now. I'm not getting ready to have sex with a woman because that's what you want. What? Listen, if any dude I ever had asked me to do that, there's a few other things you asked me to do that's just not happening. But the fact that you want me to turn gay. Now, you have to flip that. If I asked you to have sex with a man, how that sound to you? It sound the same way to me. I don't understand the things women go through to keep a man. That's probably why I'm single. Anyway, wait a minute, I lost my spot. So that she told that was the reason why that they are divorced, and she just wants to be a mom. And that happens, when you have kids, even if you're not doing nothing weird, you change. Children change you. You mature, you grow, you evolve, right? He was a weirdo freak when you met him. She said she no longer wants to do any of that stuff. So Candiace discloses that she failed at her IVF. Her follicles aren't catching. Listen, go on and have a baby the regular way. She want to save her eggs or whatever you do with them for later, right? But she's capable of having a baby. Just, I get your career is blossoming and all that. You don't want to have a baby, but go on and have a baby girl the regular way. Ain't no way I would have wasted all that money and I can't have kids. No. That's a waste of money. So then, Ashley says the blogs put her separation details out to social media. She didn't do it, and she wonders who did it. She's wondering who did it, right? Listen. The moment you told the first person, it was out. The moment you told the first person, it was out. And I don't know how, they got people that sniff around. They got people that's their job. That's what they do all day, every day, is find out your business, right? Like, I don't know why she thought, because one person could see you going somewhere to file a separation. Or, people have speculations. People form ideas and thoughts and come up with their own story of what they think happened. I do it all the time. I just don't tell nobody, but when I see stuff on Facebook, I be like, oh, and I go dig around over here and dig around over there. That's just what people do, right? Not hard to do. So then we come into the next episode, which is the real good one, yesterday's. Candiace and Ashley were sitting there having a girlfriend time. And at that moment, when it came on, I said, they keep having these moments. They have really grown. That's what I said, right? Candiace tells Ashley, that's what I'm saying about people see you. While they having a little good girlfriend time, she says, yeah, you were seen out with somebody. And Ashley said, who? What? She tried to deny it at first. She said, you were seen with a hockey player. Identified the person, right? Ashley then falls out the chair laughing, right? And she said, well, yeah, he's a friend. We were just out eating, having dinner, whatever she said they was doing. But she said she didn't like him because his conversation, I think she said he was talking about comic book characters. It didn't work. She was just out with him to be doing something, right? So she's dating. She might as well, because Michael is too, right? So me and her husband, they sit down and talk about her health, and they have ruled out cancer. They just don't know what's going on. They got some more tests to do, right? Now, this is what I thought was strange. I guess people do whatever people are different. So Mia says, I'm going to Miami with the girls. Mia then explains that she's basically from Miami. She spent a lot of time in Miami. I don't know if she's in college. I can't remember what she said. But she spent a lot of time in Miami that she calls that home, right? Oh, she says her foster mother was from there. Something like that, right? She explained why Miami is home to her. And it is revealed, I don't know, maybe they said it before and I didn't catch it. And she showed the picture that, she said, well, what are the rules for Miami? I thought that was strange that you have to ask what the rules are. You're a married woman and a mother. You know the rules, right? She said, because something about they go wild when they go to Miami, right? She later reveals that she met her husband what is his name? What is his name? I don't got his name. Mia met her husband. What is his name? I didn't write it down. Mia met her husband in Miami while he was still married to his first wife. That's how they met, and she then revealed that they had sex on the beach, and everybody was, or people were watching. I don't know, it was a lot. One person is too much. That people were watching and they knew it, and they performed. They put on a performance, right? And that's what they did. So I guess Mia is known. You know, people do freaky stuff. We don't know what folks do in their relationships. And see, now he has gotten older. Because he looks, this season, he looks a little more haggard. He looks a little tired, right? All the way he was last season, I haven't seen that yet. You know, it seemed like he was full of life. Even though he was a little weird and a little off-putting, he had life with him when he entered the room. I don't see that now. I don't see that now, right? So Mia may be going, you know, she may be going to have sex. Whatever she want to do, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But the fact that you asked your husband what are the rules, I thought that was strange, right? And then Cherie stated that Karen was, Candiace was talking with Ashley, whoever she was talking to, and she stated that Cherise was the one that started, that Karen was known to be sneaking out of town with a man. She went into details with that, right? Now, this is the thing about reality shows. They're very quick to interject themselves and ruin someone's marriage, right? I wouldn't do that. If I knew it, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't talk about nobody's marriage, because that could be damaging, right? What if Ray looks mild-mannered and cool. What if Ray said, okay, I forget this. I'm out of here, Karen, right? Like, and then for all we know, Ray may know that she's doing that. You never know. Because in my mind, that thought just came in my head. Ray may know. Ray may know, right? Especially if he ain't doing nothing with her. Karen ain't getting her body done for nothing. Well, she could be getting it done for herself, but listen, I've heard that there's an explosion of that in Cleveland. Women over 50, 60 getting their body done. I know of two that I can think of, right? That I know personally. And I'm like, why? And my friend said, well, the youngins be out. So they cougaring. The cougars are cougaring, right? So anyway, Giselle, wait a minute. Yes, Giselle and the girls go get mani-pedis. Giselle's girls are absolutely gorgeous. All three of them. They are gorgeous, very ladylike. They're gorgeous. I love them, right? They go get manis and panties and talk about the 16th birthday that they got coming up. But they seem so mature. They look, not that they look grown or out of place, but they seem so mature. You know, they're growing up to be very nice-looking young ladies, right? Robin then goes to see a lawyer to talk about a prenup. And my note to myself was, how dare you? Now, you lost all this man's money. He put it in your hands, which is what husbands do. Now that you must, even though Juan said, I make more than you, I don't know if that's true. He's a basketball coach. He could. I think he's a college basketball coach. I don't know what they make. But he said he make more than you. But Robin wants to protect her assets, which is her hat business and her podcast. She doesn't want that to be touched. Finances from that. So I guess they're doing pretty good with that, her, she said, right? And I just thought that was strange when y'all been through ups and downs and went through a long down period and struggled and got your way back up because Robin was trying to flip houses. Robin was doing everything but selling ussy on the corner to get that money back and get them back to a good financial status, right? And now that you've achieved that and you've got your home, the home is not in, remember, the home is not in Juan's name because of his finances that Robin messed up. But now you want to get a prenup. I think that's disrespectful. But we don't know what's going on in their household. Like I said, Juan is always not around. Okay? Sit on that for a minute. Because I just think that if you messed up this man's money, and even though it was y'all's money, but he worked, he earned it, messed it up, you made a bad investment, y'all totally went broke. Thank God for Real Housewives. he was able to make some change, so you can make some change with the change he was making. I just think it's a little off-putting, right? And so then, hold on, I lost my place. So Mia says they got married in 2005. No, that's not her. That's Robin. They was together since high school, but they married in 2005. So that's a long time. They've been together. That's probably all she know, pretty much, right? And she wants to keep her businesses, and that could be the reason why, they have a foundation. Even though he doesn't act like it all the time, but they have a foundation, right? He doesn't act, and that could just be his personality, but he doesn't act the way a person acts, and you've been with your wife all her life, right? She wants a clause for infidelity. See, what Robin ain't telling us, something in my eye, what Robin ain't telling us, she knows that Juan has messed around. Now, she act like, oh, I don't know, I don't know. She knows. So, what she wants to ensure that she done struggled and hustled and got y'all all the way back to the top. I'd be darned if you go share it with another woman. I get it. That's what she's not saying. You got to read between the lines, but that's what she's not saying. That's my opinion, right? Yeah, that's my opinion with that. And so she went to see the lawyer, and we'll see what happens. Now, she did say that Juan knew she was there, right? But I just think that causes confusion in their household, right? Anyway, some of the ladies, Karen, Ashley, and Candiace, or was it Karen, Wendy, and Candiace, right? Went to a tulip farm, right? And got to picking flowers and stuff. And then, it was Wendy, Ashley, and Karen. Yeah. Wendy talks about Robin and her situation and not being invited to the fun day. And she said it didn't really make a difference to her, but she just absolutely wasn't sending her kids somewhere without her, which I get, right? Because, people would be neglectful and try to mistreat your kids and all that stuff, right? And so Ashley's, like I said before, is looking very gorgeous. And that's what happens when you leave your man and you have a life-changing situation. You change, right? You done broke free from him. So Wendy's having a burn session, and I felt like the lady's like, what is a burn session? Because it don't sound like nothing nice, right? Well, she says you write down what you want to discuss with the person, and after you discuss it, come to a resolution, and you burn the paper. I get that, right? I've done that, but I didn't know that's what it was called, right? Wendy and someone on the way to the burn session, it was just Wendy and Ashley, and then she got a Sprinter van for the other lady. She said she didn't want to ride with them, and they discussed their issues there. She wanted to discuss the issues at the venue, right? Ashley says that somebody just texted me. People just be so crazy, right? I don't even know who this is. People just be so crazy. Like, let me tell y'all something as a single woman. You talk to somebody who dated them once or something, one time, right? Or something, went somewhere. And then, ain't no chemistry. I don't like you, you don't like me. Or you may like me, but I don't like you, and you know that I don't like you. And then I go on with my life. I've never had to tell somebody, which you probably should, but I never had to, hey, I'm just not interested. They don't call me, I don't call them. That's that, right? And every other day or so, some stranger will text me, and I don't even know who they is, right? I done forgot who they are. Their name may be in my phone, it may not be, but I have totally forgotten what they look like. And I've always been like that. Once I'm done, I don't even think about you no more, right? Anyway, that was just a sidebar. Because he threw me off with that, like. And then people will, let me just say this. Guys just don't know what to do. I tell guys, the ball is in your court. I don't chase men. I don't pursue a man. I reciprocate if I'm interested, but I don't do the chasing. A man is the hunter. Always remember that, lady. That's his job, to hunt. You ought to pray he's the hunter, period. I know that sounds tribal and, but that's the truth of the matter. A man is the hunter, right? So when you are aggressing on a man and chasing a man, you're going against the grain. 9 times out of 10 ain't gonna work. Now he may deal with you because he's a man and he may do whatever he want to do with you and then he's done with you. But a man, I know and I believe that a man has to actively pursue you. That's how else you gonna know that he wants you? How are you gonna know that he wants you if you chasing him? He just dealing with you because that's what men do. Anyway, I digress. So wait a minute, let me go back. So anyway, so they get to the burn session, right? All the other ladies, everybody get to the burn session. And before that, Ashley says that the memes are a lot and they're hurtful. Like, get off of social media. If there's something going on, get off of it, right? And that her and Mike are not communicating. I knew that part would come. She was saying, oh, it's cool. We living together. Everything's cool. I knew that it was not going to be that way. Because once she doesn't want to do something that he wants her to do, it was going to go bad. I knew that, She was naive to think that it was going to go hunky-dory. It hadn't been hunky-dory the whole time you've been with him. And then I heard her say, when she was talking about dating, she said, well, so anyway, they are at the venue and they start the burn session, right? They start the burn session. Now, hold on, let me get where I was at. So, what's her name? Wendy started with herself, right? And Wendy started with herself, and a couple people said what they had to say about her, like Mia. And then when it was Robin's turn, Robin went all the way off. She went all the way off, right? And then she called Sharice. She said, I didn't. So, Wendy was saying you had to be held back during the argument. And she said, no, I didn't, right? So she called Sharice to verify. She FaceTimed and Sharice told a lie because the production showed the video. She actually touched her twice. Sharice had to hold her back twice. She got up and held her, and then she had to push her back on her shoulders, right? We saw it. We all saw it, right? I was watching it and my sister was like, did you? Yes, I saw it. We saw it. Don't try to make us think we didn't see what we saw, right? So Robin wants a problem with Wendy because Wendy lit into her, right? And I thought that was overkill. I thought it was overkill, right? That was overkill, right? You didn't have to do all of that, okay? We know you don't like her. You should have checked her when it happened. Now, what it looks like is resentment is set in. You just sat on it for all these months. Now you're going to explode. You're exploding on her. But the coup de grace was when Ashley looked at Candiace and said, my friend said that Chris was in her DM too. Right? And Candiace says, you being vindictive now. She said, I thought we were, she's trying to say I thought we was cool, right? Now, in her confessional, she said, I knew I shouldn't have trusted her. Because that's the same thing I said. Y'all just had a knockdown, drag out for 2 seasons. Now y'all cool over each other's house. So, and then she said, you're trying to be vindictive. And Ashley's like, no, I'm not. But she was. And then she said, well, it doesn't feel good when the shoe's on the other foot. Candiace said, there it is, right there. There it is, right? So now Ashley has gotten on the bandwagon that Chris was in her friend's DM. Now he was in her DM, her friend's DM. Giselle's went to her room or something, right? And so now they're trying to make Chris to be this weirdo. They're setting it up for Chris to be this weirdo. And then Ashley said, when the shoe's on the foot, it don't feel good. So now they band together to take Chris and Candiace down, okay? Monique told Candiace that. She told Candiace that, right? Now, I hate to say this. But I'm experiencing something like this at work right now. I've always had. Me and my girlfriend was talking about it yesterday. The colorism thing, right? I'm a dark woman. My girlfriend that I was talking to yesterday is darker than me. And I was telling her about I'm having an issue with this girl at work. Little young light-skinned girl. I don't know if she realized, how old I am and I had to be played with, right? And she's always bothering me. Always, right? She has no more turns to bother me. When I get back to work Wednesday and she bothers me, I'm going to have to pull her to the side and get in her ear, right? In a nice way that only she and I can hear, right? And I really don't want to do that because, I have to do it that way because you're not going to aggravate me where I get my money at. That's what you're not going to do. But I don't want to cut up because my supervisor, like I told you, I went to his church. I'm a good Christian lady, right? I'm Sister Mason. But little sister going to have to stop. But as I was telling my girlfriend, and she brought it to light, because it's been happening to me since kindergarten, right? So sometimes I don't even pay any attention. The light and the dark. Now, when I was in junior high and especially high school, because high school is when boys really start to liking you and stuff like that. Me and my dark-skinned friends didn't get the boys like the light-skinned girls. And that was because the light-skinned girls could have basically been ugly, but they were light-skinned. So I experienced that a lot in high school, right? But me and my friends were having this conversation yesterday, right? And I didn't think about it. I said, because it's another girl that started with me that she don't bother. They don't even talk to. They don't bother her at all. And she does not do anything, right? And me and this girl had a conversation. She said, "Ooh, I dodged a bullet." I said, "That's because they own me," right? And so I started to realize this is a bigger problem than I thought it was. And so I have to address it. I have to address it because this is where I get my money from. You're not getting ready to argue. You're not getting ready to get on my nerves where I get my money from. But I think that, and I don't want to offend anybody, but this is my realization. This is my truth, right? A lot of times light-skinned women have a problem with dark women. I don't know why. I never knew why, right? But I've experienced this all of my life. And me and my girlfriend were talking yesterday. She said, I've been experiencing this all my life. I said, me too, since kindergarten, since I can remember. Since I can remember, people have a problem with your dark skin. People have a problem with your dark skin. And it's mostly women. Men don't have a problem with it. But, they didn't pay us no attention growing up. But now men don't have a problem with it, but it's women that have a problem with it. They have a problem with it. And so they automatically target you. And I don't know if it's subconsciously done, if it's purposefully done, I don't know. But I know that I have to tell little sister. So the light-skinned girls, Ashley, Giselle, and Robin, which they have always been that way. And it looks like, and I don't know if that's really the case, but that's what it looks like, right? And so now they have, Candiace is it. She's it, which Monique told her that was going to happen, right? And again, y'all, there's things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, right? And I was saying to myself, I put in my notes, I wonder what happened. Why did they target Candiace? But like I thought about earlier, it's because Candiace has a loving husband. Period. They don't, she do. And I think that's what it is, right? Because there has to be a reason. I want it to be a reason more than just color of your skin, even though I know people, that's what people do. But I want it to be another reason besides that. I want it to be, right? The last thing I put is Ashley came right to her house and stabbed her right in her back. She came right to her house and portrayed to be a friend and stabbed her in her back. Now, what's going to happen? Candiace is a young woman, and she doesn't have too much control of her emotions. And I think that's what they're banking on. Right? So I don't know. We'll see. It's getting heated up. Looks like the storyline this season is going to be Chris in everybody's DM. And that can have an effect on his job. He's a general manager. Like that's so wrong. Like at some point, production got to say, "Hey, y'all, stop it." But who knows? Production could be the one that started it, right? Or egged it on. We don't know. But anyway, y'all, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. Okay? Like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right, y'all.